Hey everyone. I wanted to make a video today about AI and AI in the workforce. Um, as you know, I made a video recently about the Leaflet AI VTuber thing that Rev kind of brought up, and that's why I kind of starting off with that as the background. The thing is that no matter if you're anti AI, for AI, indifferent, don't give a damn, whatever. Uh, in the next couple of years, a lot of people have to actually start considering it. I don't think people are taking it as seriously as they should when it comes to work related things. And the reason why I want to make this video is because, I've made videos about how I'm, um, you know, in middle management and a couple of things and blah, blah, blah. And I know it's probably boring to some people, but whatever. Um, the thing human nature makes us not want to, you know, p- p- well, it's not really human nature. Well, kind of. Money has become the thing that is a commodity that we need to get most everything. It's not like back in the day where you can farm and make your own stuff and so on and so forth. So we have to go to work or find a way to make money and so on and so forth. So money is like food to us now. So why would we want to pay someone to make, for instance, a VTuber model for $1,000 when we can have AI do it, or so on and so forth? And if we just like kind of expand the thought pattern a little bit, so you don't want to spend money on stuff that you don't have to, right? To try to accomplish something. So the less you don't have to spend to try to accomplish something, the better. If you go and put that in a company perspective, just add a couple of zeros or something, $100,000 or something like that. If a company can have AI do it without spending the $100,000, um, same thing as just your personal budget. Just think of your personal budget and make it bigger, and think of how you would spend your money. So, and the reason why I want to talk about it is because I don't think people realize what's coming because of AI and how it's going to affect the workplace and the jobs that are going to be available and stuff like that. So I can tell you from experience, I already use AI in my middle management position to do most of my, not, I won't say most, 50% of my office work. Um, you know, data entry and stuff like that. I can just have AI input this into spreadsheets, and I can create a document for a certain task and ask AI to kind of make a, I don't know, template for it or something along that line. So I'm already using it just to increase my efficiency in the office work. But then again, I'm in manufacturing, so I have other responsibilities like making sure certain machines continue to run. Sometimes something breaks down, and I have knowledge of that machine, so I can actually, go in there and fix it if need be. So for me, you know, I don't know, 50% of my workload I can pretty much pawn off on the AI if I need to free up time for other tasks, and that's middle management. Now, when it comes to other kinds of industries, it might be a little less. It might affect it a little bit less, but at some point it will affect it more and more as AI becomes more able. So things this and the thing that people don't understand about AI is that like uh, the AI gets trained through um, available information that it can input to learn from. So a lot of tasks that we moved over to computers, in the 90s, 2000s, that's actually the first things AI is going to learn well because there's a monotony of um, information for it to learn from. So, documents, spreadsheets, data entry, um, graphic design based off of computers. And this is where like the VTuber thing is, it will shift towards AI production of VTuber models because all that stuff, the AI, there's plenty of data for the AI to look at and learn from and, you know, slowly perfect it, or well, not slowly, but perfect it faster than something that, say, we stopped caring about or didn't think was necessary to move over to computers. So, game design, it's something that AI is going to be able to learn faster. Computer aided graphic design is going to be something computers, the AI can learn faster. And anything that would be, word processing. Um, I mean, I can say that I've had AI create, spreadsheets, documents, uh, business plan. AI is pretty good at making business plans at this point. Other than you have to kind of fact check the information it's using for, I don't know, the theoretical, finances and stuff. You got to make sure it's grabbing the correct numbers. But otherwise, it can write pretty much anything. So then that brings us to the question of, okay, so if we're going to lose all that stuff in, the workforce, the you know pretty much word processing, data processing, graphic design, so on and so forth, what's the workforce going to look like? And the answer is that it's going to shift more over towards manual labor again. Now, when I say that, that doesn't mean that everyone can do it. Um, because it's going to cause a supply and demand problem, right? So I don't know if we go down Mike Rowe's path where he says, well, everybody needs to start learning how to be a carpenter, a plumber, go into trades. So, and don't get me wrong, we have a shortage of those jobs right now because nobody's willing to do hard labor anymore, or harder labor, I should say, physical labor. Physical labor is what we should say. Um, but with the amount of job loss that we're probably going to see from the white collar, I guess is the best way of putting it. You're talking about office workers. Um, some things in like healthcare, like the medical transcriptionists, things like that, are going to move towards AI. Goodness, I don't know why I got this cough again. But what we're going to end up doing is that we're going to have to shift further towards the trades again. And then, and even technically, like for instance, CEOs and stuff like that, they're going to have, well, they're still going to be CEOs because they're going to still have to make the final call. But their jobs are going to be not less important. That's a harsh way of putting it. It's just going to end up being a little more decision making versus anything else. Um, so what we need to start, I mean, and a lot of people need to start learning this. They need to diversify. They need to actually like, how can I make different kinds of money? I mean, kind of why I'm doing this YouTube thing. Hopefully, I can get somewhere with it where I can just get a little stipend out of it or something. But if not, that's fine. The other route that we could start talking about is I know there's a lot of people who are starting to do homesteading, where they try to become self sufficient and try to grow their own food and so on and so forth. Now, that's great and all, but you obviously have to have some capital, get land to do so. Um, and I'm trying to think like not everyone can go into trades because then you'd end up having a supply and demand issue where if you have too many people who are doing it, then there's not going to be it's not going to be very profitable because you're going to be competing against each other so much. And also, at some point, other people are going to run out of money to uh, get people to do work with you, so on and so forth. Uh, so trades, homesteading. What other things are available? Um, you're going to have to try to maybe, I mean, start your own businesses where you don't have to rely on a large corporation for your income. You could technically try to get into the stuff. Well, for instance, if you're in a field and you could just try to compete against the company that decided to eliminate your position, and then, well, here's the thing though. If you're going to try to do that, you have to learn as much as you can right now about the business that you're in, the field you're in, and hopefully you're in a field where you could duplicate it. Obviously, if you're working for, I don't know, a hospital, you can't really pull that off, right? So if you're in some kind of manufacturing trade that finds a way to eliminate you with AI, learn something about it. I mean, you can be the boss and then still have workers who are, for instance, like, um, say you're in I don't know, a machinist shop, and you are just I don't know, a CNC programmer, which AI probably can start doing pretty soon too. Because if they can do graphical design, they can do CAD too at some point. You're still going to need somebody who there's going to be one person doing it who still needs to confirm all the numbers and all the dimensions are correct. But you won't need somebody to actually program the CNC anymore. um, it's there's a lot of things that we'd have to start looking at, and I mean, a lot of people are going to have to worry about it. And one of these days, we have to face that reality. And honestly, I mean, it's not a bad reality. I mean, there's good things about AI. You can get things done faster. They can help you write all the things that you need to start a business. So I guess another thing people have to try to work on is actually not being afraid of going for what they want to do. And that's a reality that I've kind of faced recently by doing this YouTube thing. So I don't, I don't know. Um, Really, what I'm trying to say is that in the next 5 to 10 years, um, the workplace is going to look different, and what you're going to be doing in the workplace is going to be different. If you're in manufacturing, you might be a little more hands-on than you were before. Otherwise, you're not going to have a position anymore. And trust me, I mean, companies at this point, they don't necessarily want to lay you off, but when they know that you're not willing to move to something more manual or um, more straining, then don't expect to retain a position, you know? And that kind of leads into another subject. Um, I watched something recently about you know, Generation X and Alpha, and coming up on Beta here in a bit. Or we are in Beta technically, but they're quite young. Don't have to talk about them in the workforce yet. Um, I I've had the opinion a little bit that um, the younger generations, their work ethic kind of sucks. But I also realized that um, they have a reason for it. They don't see what the point in having a good work ethic is if they can't afford anything. So, may, who knows? Maybe that video might have actually convinced me um, to debate whether universal income is actually a good thing or not. I personally don't like the idea because I still believe that you're supposed to earn the money that you get. But if we don't do something, eh, it, it, I don't know. Anyway, so I digress. AI's here to stay. Things are going to change. We have to change with it, and people need to realize it's coming. That's kind of what I'm trying to say is people need to realize it's coming. And I don't know what else to really say about it. I mean, look at what AI can do, and then look at what your job is right now, and ask yourself, in 10 years, can AI do my job? If the answer is yes or maybe, just say yes and start figuring out something. Start a business, uh, get into trades, be willing to do hard work sometimes. Um, and when I say hard work, I mean hard work in multiple different ways. Hard work doesn't have to be physical. Hard work can be a mental strain. Starting a business is mentally very straining. Um, I don't know, even starting YouTube is mentally straining to a certain extent. Like, I mean, I'm just doing videos to do videos, so I'm not concerned about making money off of it. But if you have plans of wanting to try to make money on YouTube, then it will be mentally straining, and you will be so concerned about certain things like subscriptions and watch time, and all this other stuff, and it's going to be stressful. So you have to be willing to do it. um, so we we just have to prepare ourselves, and I don't care. Like I said at the beginning, I don't care if you're anti AI, for AI, fence setting, don't care, whatever. You're you have to start considering what the repercussions of AI will be. Um, and it shouldn't be the knee jerk reaction of AI is bad, so therefore it shouldn't exist. Um, it should be more of I have to understand what AI is, how it learns. You need to learn how to start using AI, because the sooner you learn how to use AI, the sooner you can actually technically start influencing how AI thinks, because you can influence it, um, depending on how much you use it. I don't think they tell you that, honestly, and I honestly think it does learn from every interaction it has. So if I have decided to interact with it and have it learn how to do a spreadsheet in, you know, my industry, and explain what I need it to accomplish with this spreadsheet, it can apply it. I mean, I have a couple of accounts with AIs, and I mean, it memorizes everything I do. And on top of that, let me explain something else to you on that. A little side note here. For instance, I had it do some work for me for work, and then I had it do some work for me on a personal note, and it actually retains and remembers and transfers all the information I've ever given it. So I mean, sometimes I actually have to say, no, this is my personal project. I don't need you to apply this, or um, anything like that. That's a little tidbit for you guys. So we are teaching AI. Everyone is. Anybody who's typed a single word in it, even if it's nonsense, um, it can. I mean, most of the time when you put nonsense in, it actually recognizes that you're putting nonsense in. So everyone has to start realizing it, and we have to start talking about it, and we have to start learning how to use it. And um, because we as humans, since we are creating it, we can't fall behind on it. Like, um, and I know there's some rich people who are racing to the top, and lots of people are worried about them becoming, I don't know, AI dictators, so therefore they can, I don't know, take over the world or some damn thing. I don't know. um, yeah, I don't know what else to really say about it. I just want this to be out, to be, excuse me, I want this to be kind of a, I want people to see this and actually think about this. We can't sit on it too much longer. Um, and the other thing I'm kind of worried about at this point is how many of the youth have kind of let their not minds go numb, watching, I don't know, what I would call, you know, I don't know, I think everybody's kind of calling it that, but I call it brain rot. Um, Young people start watching some educational stuff, like sprinkle some educational videos in, to your brain rot. Just force yourself to watch like one, I don't know, science topic or history topic or any kind of topic really. Carpentry, learn how to do carpentry, learn how to do boat building. I don't know, but we have to start using our minds to at least be able to understand some of what's going on, and then stop letting people lead you down a road. For instance, like the hard left or the hard right or anything like hard anything. Like always make sure that your mind is open enough to learn some stuff. And I don't know. Eh, that's my that's about it for this. I don't mean it's just me saying we need to start thinking about AI and how it can technically take your job, and people need to start looking at different methods or going back to some older ways of doing things because AI won't be able to learn that very well or replace that very well. You know, so that's kind of what I wanted to talk about, and uh, hopefully people start considering it a little more. You guys have a good night. Hopefully this might be entertaining. It probably won't be, but that's okay. I don't care. Have a good one.